Last night on The Bachelor. So it finally happened. Last night the gate was Wait, you're kidding, right? But on the preview they showed, but Chris Harrison tweeted. He tweeted. No. Chris Harrison, you lied to us.
You were the chosen one!
You've done it, Chris. You've lost my trust forever. Even Colton doesn't trust you anymore and had to turn to Ben Higgins for advice. That's on you, Harrison. You were his running buddy. Speaking of which, the whole reason why Ben Higgins is back is because there are apparently women still around who aren't here for
the right reason.
And Bachelor, if the reason why Ben Higgins keeps showing up is because you're flirting with the idea of him getting another crack at being the Bachelor, just watch yourself, okay? I can only handle so much heartbreak in one night. So the through line for this whole episode is this. Who's still left that isn't here for the right reasons? And I'm like, is this The Bachelor or an episode of The Mole?
The winner, the one who answers the question, who is the mole?
This week, Scooby and the gang are headed to Denver, Colton's hometown. And this trip is big because it's leading up to the Final Four and hometowns next week. But first we get to meet Sniper, Colton's dog. And the dates are starting right away with a rose being present on every one. This time, it's a difficult 2-on-1 for Colton as he has to choose between giving a rose to Tayshia or Sniper. On the date, Colton is in detective mode and asks Tayshia where she was on the night of February 12th. I mean, he asks her if she knows anything about who Katie was talking about. These women not here for the right reasons.
I feel like Cassie and Kaylin aren't genuine.
She drops the names of Cassie and Kaylin as two who aren't genuine, that they're more interested in becoming the Bachelorette and aren't ready to get engaged. So basically the big three of Colton's biggest fears. And this is my take. If it's true, that sucks. But honestly, you know all the women there are thinking it sure would be nice to be the Bachelorette in the event that Colton were to break their heart. I wouldn't be surprised if it's brought up a lot. Doesn't mean you're scheming behind Colton's back. For the rest of the date, Colton and Tayshia make a home-cooked meal and discuss hometowns. Tayshia brings up her protective father and her divorce, but fails to mention the 10-month relationship she allegedly had one day before leaving The Bachelor. Not a good look if true, but for now, Tayshia gets a rose. Meanwhile, the next date card has come, and it's Kaylin who's getting the one-on-one. The two are meeting up on the mountains for another athletic date. Snowboarding. Colton and Kaylin glide down the mountain and right into a heavy conversation about Kaylin's intentions. And I just want to point out a huge editor fake-out here. See the shot of Kaylin? They've been pairing it with Cassie all season long. Makes it look like the two are having a big fight, doesn't it?
Scared him so bad and you're gonna ruin potential relationship.
But as you can see, Kaylin's talking with Colton here, and we'll see that Cassie in this shot is actually arguing with Kirpa. Throughout the date, Kaylin expresses that she is 100% ready for an engagement. She drops this one on Colton.
I'm falling in love with you.
And Colton counters with a,
I know that I am falling in love with you.
And Kaylin's headed to hometowns. Here comes the third and final one-on-one date card of the episode, and it's Hannah Alabama's time to shine in Denver.
Thank the freaking Lord.
But before we get there, Kaylin's returned from her one-on-one and fills Cassie in on what Tayshia told Colton, then goes to confront her.
Colton told me yesterday that you told him that I'm only here to be the Bachelorette, and that if he proposes that I'll say no.
I will say that this line...
To be quite honest, the only two people that acted defensively and were worried about her conversation were you and Cassie.
Did kind of bother me. Like, you two acted defensively, therefore you two must be guilty. But again, they left out a bunch of stuff from the end of the rose ceremony last week, so I can't knock Tayshia completely. There is one thing that she says which I super agree with.
This is so stupid.
On the one-on-one, Colton has a big surprise for Hannah B.
Mom? Dad?
Oh my God.
Which really tripped me up in the previews. Hannah gets a golden opportunity to meet the Underwoods. Papa Underwood sits our Bachelor down for a chat And I'll say that this comment here is probably the most important of the whole episode.
Be careful of that. I trust your gut more than I would ever trust the comments of anybody else. This is about you.
What happens later in the episode and who gets eliminated ties heavily in, I believe, with the advice Colton receives from his dad here. Hannah, meanwhile, sits down with Mama Underwood, who tells her to put it all on the line. So...
Are you okay?
What?
No.
At the dinner portion of the date, Colton gets to sit down and have a chat with Glinda the Good Witch. But just like Glinda, Hannah will be saying there's no place like home, because she's sent packing.
There's no place like home.
Which is kinda lame on Colton's part. Hey, wanna meet my family? Cool, okay, I'm dumping you. Like, what happened? Did he get Hannah to do a toast for them or something?
I can't do this.
Hannah leaves and adds another one of these.
Listen to people about things and people's intentions.
Which you know Colton always responds well to. Then someone comes in and just steals Hannah Alabama's bag, and the women just sit there doing nothing. Like, also, where is the shot from the previews of Hannah in this outfit? And then Colton escorting her to an elevator. I'll mention my thoughts on it in the upcoming preview video for next week. So it's the big group date and a lot is on the line. 4 women enter, 2 will leave. Oh, and this is one of the quietest limo rides I've ever seen. Okay, ladies, pick a spot on the wall and just stare at it. Colton shows up on a train and it's almost time for him to choose someone.
You choose me?
But before the drama unfolds, Heather sits Colton down and says she's not ready to take Colton home. Apparently, she wants to kiss at least 2 boys before she settles down. So she's headed home. 1 down, 1 to go.
Bye.
Bye.
Next, Colton sits down with Cassie in their first conversation since the Tayshia allegations. Of course, she denies everything and tells Colton that she's here for him.
If I'm trusting my gut right now is telling me that she would have never gone to the lengths to say anything like that.
And there's Colton's gut kicking in. Kirpa's up next, and she also brings up Cassie and Kaylin.
After you gave your speech in Vietnam after Katie left, they were the only 2 girls that started to panic.
And hold up, is Kirpa holding a burn book?
It's our burn book. So we cut out girls' pictures from the yearbook, and then we wrote comments. Amber D'Alessio, she made out with a hot dog.
She then returns to the ladies and also brings up what she said with Colton to Cassie. And the 2 argue.
You don't have anything to back it up, and it's so
You don't have
strange.
anything to back it up. This is so dumb to me.
And Hannah G is looking awfully good right now. Not in the drama, just chilling there, staying out of everything.
Are red flags to me, I'm going to bring up to him.
It's like, it's either true or it's not true. It's not your opinion. Like, in my opinion, you're an idiot.
I'll be honest, I feel kind of bad for Kirpa. I think she's being genuine and she's got good intentions. But we're all running off the idea that Katie's comments are unequivocally true. But the way I look at it, true or not, that time with Colton could have been spent building their relationship. That night, the women are gathered to once again not look at each other as Colton still has to decide who's getting a rose. He comes in, takes Hannah G to the other room, we hear giggling. He comes out and gives her a rose without a word to the other 2. Cold.
You're as cold as ice!
On the date, it seems as though Cassie is on the ropes when... Oh god, that's Kaylin's music!
Wanted to talk to you about something.
Kaylin enters the fray and seems to put in a good word for Cassie, as Colton comes back and goes with his gut.
Cassie, will you accept this rose?
He gives the rose to Cassie, sending Kirpa home.
It's not about the she said thing. It's about my instinct and what my gut's telling me.
Now, I want to take a second and pause here to talk about The Bachelorette. It's kind of funny that everyone's talking about Kaylin and Cassie only here to become the Bachelorette, considering, as far as I can tell, they're both the frontrunners for the job. I doubt they'll give it to Tayshia after all the tattletale stuff this week, which leaves either Cassie, Hannah G, or Kaylin. And, well, Hannah G has been pretty bland so far. So, that leaves just Cassie or Caelynn. And with all these last-minute heroics of Caelynn coming in and saving Cassie, speaking of honesty and truth, it really seems like she's getting the heavy push for The Bachelorette. She's had tons of screen time, tons of drama, and tons of heartfelt moments. Makes me wonder if the people at Bachelor have been editing her favorably in hopes of people wanting her for The Bachelorette, in the same way they've edited other women as possible Final Rose winners. So, whoo boy, what a week. Even without the gate jump, which I'm still mad at Chris Harrison about. We'll likely have to wait until Fantasy Suites for that. Thanks everyone for watching this Bachelor breakdown of Week 7. Hope you all enjoyed it. Be sure to like and subscribe if you did, and I'll be back soon to break down next week's preview, so stay tuned for that.
He asked about the Vietnam situation.